Carl Jung writes, "I began to understand that the goal of psychic development is the self. There is no linear evolution. There is only a circumambulation of the self. Uniform development exists at most at the beginning. Later, everything points toward the center. This insight gave me stability, and gradually my inner peace returned." In Jungian psychology, circumambulation is the process of moving around a central point or object, both literally and metaphorically. In the context of Jung's theories, this concept is often associated with the process of individuation, where an individual strives to integrate their conscious and unconscious aspects to achieve psychological wholeness. Circumambulation, as a psychological process, involves revolving around the self, the central organizing principle of the psyche, which represents the totality of an individual's conscious and unconscious experiences. By engaging in self-exploration and self-discovery, an individual gradually integrates the various aspects of their personality, such as their ego, persona, shadow, anima/animus, and the self. This process allows the individual to maintain a balance between opposing psychological forces and achieve a greater sense of wholeness and harmony. Jung believed that the process of circumambulation could be observed in various cultural and religious practices such as rituals, myths, and mandalas. These practices often involve symbolic representations of wholeness, unity, and the reconciliation of opposites. Jung writes, "The union of opposites on a higher level of consciousness is not a rational thing, nor is it a matter of will. It is a process of psychic development that expresses itself in symbols." Jung saw these practices as expressions of the human psyche's natural inclination towards self-integration and the pursuit of psychological balance. And curiously enough, one of the most profound moments of the initiatory ceremony in a Masonic lodge is a certain rite known as circumambulation. The etymology of the word circumambulation can be traced back to Latin origins. It is derived from two Latin components, circum and ambulare. Circum means around or about, indicating encircling or surrounding something. Ambulare is a Latin verb that means to walk or to move. In short, it is the act of circling around a sacred object. The interpretation of this ritual is typically understood as a symbolic depiction of life's great journey. We, as humans, enter the world in a state of ignorance and vulnerability, reliant on others for guidance and support. Throughout our lives, we face numerous challenges, dangers, and fears. Circumambulation is often described as a representation of this experience. Although this interpretation does not conflict with facts or reason, it is likely that the ritual holds a deeper meaning. Circumambulation is an ancient and nearly universal practice. The Egyptians employed it in various religious ceremonies, such as carrying images of Isis or Osiris around temples or altars. Similar solemn rituals were conducted by the Jews, who would encircle the sacrifices, and the Arabs, who shared numerous customs with the Jews. Even today, many Brahmin sects incorporate this ritual. A priest must circle a sacred tree or pool during their initiation. Upon waking early in the morning, the priest faces the sun and walks in a circle, maintaining the center to their right. The laws of Manu dictate that in a wedding ceremony, the bride should circle the domestic hearth. For ancient Buddhists, such a ceremony held great significance, leading them to construct stone galleries around shrines for pilgrims and worshippers to circumambulate the image of Buddha. It is likely that Freemasonry has utilized the rite of circumambulation from its inception. In one of the ancient York rituals, the apprentice, demonstrating their worthiness to become a fellow, would move from one station to another, undergoing different tests by the master and the wardens. The rite of circumambulation symbolizes the process of harmoniously adapting to one's surroundings. As mentioned earlier, in Jungian psychology, circumambulation is associated with the process of individuation, where an individual strives to integrate their conscious and unconscious aspects to achieve psychological wholeness. While Freemasons use this practice in their initiatory rites, Jung described the process in a more academic way, suited for his psychological studies. But the similarities between Jungian psychology and the royal art taught in Freemasonry don't end here.